Hello everyone and welcome back. We've got the John Deere 2-row corn planter out, and just hosed it off. It collects dust sitting in the barn over the winter, and when I wash anything off at barns, I always give them a shot of grease just to push the water out. Don't want water getting into movable parts and causing a rust issue, so I give everything a little shot of grease. I will grease it and oil it up again when I'm heading to the field, so that it'll be ready to function properly. Now, I bought this. This will be the third year that I've had it, third year that I've run this planter, and to date we planted maybe 20 acres of corn with it, and I love the planter. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about the planter. It has performed flawlessly. The only time that I ran into an issue was I was planting a variety of corn. It's filthy. I was planting a variety of corn last year. It was wet, it was muddy, and I was trying to get done, and the kernel, this corn was a bigger seed, round seed, and I stopped up one of my drop tubes on one side, but that's the only time it's malfunctioned at all. It's just a basic 7000 series John Deere planter units. Now there are, I know in bigger operations there's planter technology is very advanced, but when I was looking for this, and this is a good example of matching up your needs and your equipment. When I was looking for it, I wanted just a basic planter with a transmission where I could adjust my spacings, and that's pretty much it. And I found this one. I think it was RDH Outdoors in Minnesota at a very good price. Now I looked at other ones and they were all quality planters and stuff like that, but I found this one. It was in my budget. It met my basic requirements, and I went with a 2-row instead of a 3-row or a 4-row because of the fields that I'm working in. A lot of the fields that I work in are small, they're tight, a little mean, and that 2-row 3-point hitch planter is a perfect match for that John Deere 5205. They match up beautifully. It performs the job I want perfectly too. Now I have thought about using this planter to plant pumpkins, and the way you can do that is you have to buy you another meter. Just get you a corn meter, and you have to remove so many fingers from that meter, the pickup fingers, and to get your spacing right, and cut one row unit off and just use one row unit. And I've seen it done, and it'll work pretty effectively. We may do that this year. I may try it. I may buy another precision finger meter and modify it and use it to plant some of the melons and the pumpkins. Yeah, completely lost my train of thought there. But I'm planting this year 15 acres of corn, so I'm going to be like under 20 acres every year probably. This planter works perfectly for my size of operation, my equipment, my fields, etc., etc., etc. And I think when I bought this planter, it was around $3 grand, somewhere in that neighborhood. I would not, after using it 3 years or 2 years going into the 3rd year, I would not take $3 grand for it right now. It's it's got all the adjustments I need. It does a beautiful job, and I love this planter. And like I said, it matches with the John Deere 5205 perfectly, and I can get in tight spots and plant corn. I've always had good stands with this planter. I've got it set on 20,000 population. It's done a very good job. Now, there are other planters out there I know, and there's other people that make these units. Most of them are made for food plots, stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of a finger planter. I know they were used for generations on farms in America, but I like the plateless planter, and that's just me. But it does a really good job. It is consistent on the depth, planting depth, covering, and I don't have any of the fancy smancy covering wheels or different units or whatever on it. It's just a very basic John Deere designed planter, and I don't know when well, I guess it's a Kinsey design. I think Kinsey was the one that designed them. I don't know that for a fact, so don't quote me on that. But it does a really good job. I could have bought a used 4-row trail type planter for about what I bought this refurbished 2-row, but bigger is not always better. Transporting it, working in the fields, and you got to remember, we don't lock in the headlands and stuff like you do on silage corn or dry corn, because we're going through there picking, possibly cultivating if we have to, and sweet corn seed is incredibly expensive. So we're trying to do a little more precision planting on the sweet corn than you would other ways. So getting to the end of the row, turning around, if I have to stop, and that planter is 5 feet behind me and give myself room enough to turn, I'm gonna lose a lot of ground at the end of the rows where I can plant right out to the outer edge of the field with this planter. It just works really good. And when you're purchasing equipment and stuff like that, that's things you got to keep in mind. Is how does it match up with your other equipment? How is it going to match up with your operation? Is it going to perform the task that you want it to do? And is it going to perform it in a manner that will work? I could find 309 Ford planters, Massey Ferguson planters, Cole planters, $400 or $500 around, quite regularly, but I didn't. I didn't get the fertilized hopper on it. The way I broadcast my fertilize, and there's a reason I broadcast my fertilize instead of side dress, and we may do a video on that one day, and but there's a reason to broadcast. I want the whole field fertility to come up, just not narrow strips of the field. And when you're working in some relatively poor soil, nutrient wise, that's the approach we take on that. So I didn't use that. I didn't get the fertilized box or fertilizer distributor on it, but it's just a very basic planter. It does a very basic job, and that's all I'm looking for. But it's there's a people a lot of times will ask about the variety of corn, what you grow, how you grow it, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes keeping it simple will work better than a lot of other things. I don't need a vacuum seeder. I don't need all that stuff for my size operation, and that's the way it is. Now, if I was growing 200 acres of silage corn or dry corn, I probably would want a little bigger planter and probably a little more advanced planter. If to be honest with you, I might want something that's got a little more precision to it. Although I've been very, very pleased with the precision in this planter. But you know, that's the thing. But for my operation, it works. So, and I think a lot of times that, you know, small farmers and farmers in general overlook that. You know, I could, as I expand, I may need to get a bigger planter. You know, that's the thing. If I stay the same or downsize, this planter will work. So, you know, as your operation changes, your equipment needs changes. As your equipment needs changes, your operation has to change to offset the cost of the equipment. That makes sense, I hope. But yeah, we're getting a planter ready for the field in a nutshell. I know it was a long, drawn-out conversation about it. But, you know, end of the day, I love the two-row planter. I love the way it matches up with the John Deere 5205. It does an excellent job. I am super pleased with it, and that's all I have to say about it. It works well for my size operation and what I'm doing with it. If you like what we're doing, want to watch this baby in the field before long, please subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you see a video you like, hit the like button. If you have a question or comment, please do so. And until next time, take care of yourself.